Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And for today's video, tinupad ko ang isa sa mga request nyo to have special collaboration with Miss Janine Gigduhos. At may bago kaming pakulo para sa inyo. Share mo naman, sis.
So last time, nag-post kami sa Instagram regarding sa magiging content namin for today's video. And that is
Tatalinuhan Challenge! And we will going to choose 10 lucky followers that will answer our random questions about Philippine context.
But guys, huwag kayong mabahala. Masagot nyo man o hindi, makakatanggap pa rin kayo ng regalo.
And I don't think if they are going to be lucky because the questions are a bit hard. Kaya, arat na! Guys, they already know that they are the lucky chosen followers. But hindi pa nila alam ang ibabato naming questions para sa kanila.
Kaya surprise!
So let's start calling our first lucky follower, Arnold Tevez. Arnold, how many years does the Spaniards colonize the
How many years?
Philippines?
Based on the Philippine history, Spaniards colonized our country since 1565 to 1898. They have 333 years colonized our country.
So Nasha, who are the first teachers in the Philippines?
Who were the first teacher in the Philippines? Thomas Hart, American soldier during the United States colonial period of the Philippines, 1898 to 1946.
Shan, who colonized the Philippines after Spain?
The country that colonized the Philippines is America. During the Spanish-American War, the Spanish has been defeated and the Philippines became a territory of United States.
RJ, what is the oldest school established during the Spanish colonization in our country?
The oldest school established during the Spanish colonization is the UST.
And now we are going to call our fifth lucky follower. Hi Anna! It is one of the natural cultural treasure of the Philippines made by the Ifugao ancestors and located at Ifugao Cordillera.
Banawe Rice Terraces or Hagdan-Hagdang Palayan ng Banawe in Tagalog is one of the natural cultural treasure of the Philippines made by the Ifugao ancestor and located at Ifugao Cordillera.
So hi Maureen, what is the meaning of ASEAN and DOST?
The meaning of DOST and ASEAN. First, the DOST is the Department of Science and Technology, while ASEAN is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations.
Jandy, give one Filipino scientist and tell his or her contribution in science.
Hilary D. Gilara is an epidemiologist, a Philippine national scientist, and known as the father of modern public health in the
He
Philippines.
is aware about the
He
Filipino
studies in
science.
Maryland year 1921 and took public health excellently.
For you, Joyce Ann, give one of the factors that influence the development of Filipino scientists and why.
So for me, they are the factors that influence the development of Filipino scientists. First is the individual interest in science. The second one is the family. The third one is the natural environment. And also the social science. And lastly is the laboratory science.
What's up, Marlon? It is part of the indigenous knowledge system practiced by different groups of people and early civilizations.
Indigenous science. It is a part of indigenous knowledge system practiced by different group of people and early civilization.
So we noticed that wala pang nagkakamali kahit isa sa mga tinawagan namin.
At nakakamangha dahil mukhang maalam sila pagdating sa Philippine context.
So, let's see if this last follower tama pa rin ang sagot niya.
Let's start! Hi Kimberly! Give one of the practices under indigenous science and how is it beneficial to the Philippines?
So one of the practices under indigenous science is using herbal medicine. These are set of remedies that are used to cure diseases traditionally. And also, one of the most common reasons of using herbal medicine is that it is more affordable and it is more closely corresponds to the patient's ideology.
And that's a wrap.
Ang galing nila, no? nasagot nila lahat ng tama ang set of questions.
Bakit hindi tayo magbalik na pa sa Philippine context? Do you want to learn more? Let's go!
Good day everyone! In this video, we are going to explain the following topic. First, the historical timeline of science and technology on the Philippine society. After that, we are going to expound your knowledge on the concept of indigenous science and technology. The third topic will be about the development of government policies on science and technology. Lastly, we are going to talk about some of the most famous Filipino scientists as well as their contribution. Without further ado, let's get started.
Hi guys, I'm Wally Montaliana and I'm here to talk to you about the contribution of American colonization in science and technology in the Philippines. American colonization starts on 1898 after the long Spanish era in our country. They contributed more development in our country rather than the Spaniards. They established public education system and the teacher are called Thomas. They also provide and created some public hospitals and emphasize in the sector of agriculture, food processing, forestry, pharmacy, and medicine. In 1933, the Bureau of Science was established as a primary research in the Philippines during World War II. It's like Spanish, the reason they invade us is because they know our country are abundant in natural mineral resources. Transportation and communication are also developed, though it is not accessible throughout the country. They organize the learning of science and introduce it in the public and private. With the help of science in those years, it controlled the malaria, cholera, tuberculosis, and other tropical diseases.
Even before the colonization started, their own way of surviving or system of being and indigenous knowledge are already exist, and that is really help them to survive and thrive. And those early and indigenous sciences were also being used by the Filipino people then. They used them in a good way, like preparing the soil for agricultural purposes, interpreting the movements of heavenly bodies, to predict the season, and to document the uses of medical plants for them to survive in days, months, or even years.
Spanish established school for boys and girls and introduced the concept of object and discipline. Learning science focuses on understanding of human body, animals, and heavenly bodies, while technology focuses on developing house tools in everyday life. Let us now proceed to the galleon trade. Galleon trade brought an addition to the advancement of technology and development in the Philippines. These trades allows other ideas, crafts, cultural practices, tools, and technology. Filipino study in Europe also contributed to the advancement of medicine, engineering, arts, music, and literature in the country.
On World War II, institutions and public facilities were turned into ashes, houses were burned, and many lives were destroyed. And after that, the reparation funds focused on building some institutions and public facilities like schools, hospitals, and transportation system. And also, the reparation money from Japan focused on building highways and improving technological training and human resources development. And afterwards, the whole nation focusing on using limited resources and improving its science and technological capability, explored using ODA or Overseas Development Allocations from different countries to help the country improve its scientific productivity and technological capability.
During Metal Age, artifacts were also found in different regions of the country, which signified that early Filipino utilized these tools for everyday living. Like for example, the Manunggul jar. It is a secondary burial jar excavated from Neolithic burial site in the Manunggul cave. On top of the cover is a boat with two humans that signify their souls towards to the afterlife. The sophisticated designs of gold and silver jewelry, ceramics, and metal tools prove that the technological ideas help in order to improve such tools. And the materials used in the jewelry considered as rare and beautiful, from shells, pebbles, bones, and other precious materials.
The development of science and technology in the Philippines, based on its brief history, is shaped by several factors and influences. Like in the history of science in other countries, it is always shaped by human and social activities, both internal and external. The part of internal influences are survival, culture, and economic activities, while in the external influences are foreign colonizers, trades with foreign countries, and internal economic demands. Improving the quality of science education still remains as a big challenge in the country. School science basic education to graduate education is improving slowly, and there are several or few students who are enrolling science and technology courses.
Indigenous knowledge system. It refers to the understanding, skills, and philosophy developed by the society with long history of interaction with their natural surroundings. It also consists of lessons of good values and life stories by the people's daily life struggles, such as using herbal medicine, preserving foods, using indigenous technology in daily lives, and many more. Next is indigenous science. According to Brief in 2001, indigenous science is a part of indigenous knowledge system practiced by different groups of people and early civilization. According to Powell in 2005, explained that indigenous science knowledge developed diverse structures content through interact between the society and the environment. Indigenous science is also guided by the culture and community values such as the land is a source of life. This is a precious gift from our Creator. Human beings are trustee of the land and other natural resources. We are responsible to preserve it. Nature is a friend to human beings. It needs respect and proper care.
The concept of indigenous science, as you see, the framework have the three aspects. This framework, developed by Pauline 2006, and currently to its indigenous science is composed of traditional knowledge that use science, process, skill, and guiding by community values and culture.
Hi, my name is Maria Olga Francisco, and I'm one of the discussant about this topic. We all know that science is very broad, so that we are lucky that we have these famous scientists in our country. I'll give you the first one. The first one is Ramon Cabañas Barba. He is a Filipino inventor best known in inventing a way to introduce more flowers in mango tree using ethyl and potassium nitrate. The second one is Josefino Casas Comiso. He contributed to the first public atlas on sea ice cover by observing in satellite. The third one is Jose Begar Cruz. He is known intentionally in the field of electrical engineering. He made major contribution to the theory and practices of automatic control.
And the fourth one is Lourdes Cruz, who is Filipino biochemistry known for her research on sea snail venom, and Fabian Dereth for her research on non-herbal medicine, and Rafael Guerrero III for his research on tilapia culture, and Enrique Ostrea Jr. for his invented meconium drug testing, and Lilian Potena for contribution of plant and biotechnology.
Marijo P. Ruiz is a Filipino mathematician, specializes in graph theory and operation research. Next is Gregorio L. Tangonan, is a Filipino inventor of analog antennas for sending messages using fiber optics and digitalization for processing. So, let's move to the factors that influence in the development of Filipino scientists. As shown in the diagram, there are 5 factors why Filipino scientists is formed, developed, or inspired. In the first line, there are the primary factors. It focuses on the given aspects or that is her nature for having a scientist. In the second line, it is about school. It talks about development already. You need to study and learn to be a scientist. In the third line, application in real life. It is your nature to be a scientist. You have also developed in school, but of course, you need to apply that in real life. Through laboratories, the scientists can have in-depth study that is important to the issues facing the society.
Policies on science and technology. The Philippine government introduced and implemented programs, projects, and policies to boost the area of science and technology. The NCRP is expected to recommend policies and programs that will improve the competitiveness of the Philippines in the Asian region. The NCRP clustered these policies into four, namely, the first one, social science, humanities, education, international policies, and governance.
Physics, engineering, and industrial research in earth and space sciences and mathematics, emphasizing the the sciences and employment opportunities, outright grants for peer monitoring, review of Republic Act 9184, harnessing science and technology as an independent mover of development, medical, chemical, and pharmaceutical sciences, ensuring compliance of drug manufacturing firms with ASEAN harmonized standards by full implementation of the Food and Drug Administration, creating an education council dedicated to standardization of pharmaceutical services and care, empowering food and drug agencies to conduct evidence-based research as pool of information, allocating 2% of the GDP to research, legislating a law supporting human genome projects.
And the fourth NCRP cluster these policies biological science, agriculture, and forestry. First, protecting and conserving biodiversity with full implementation of existing law. Second, use of biosafety and standard model by decision countries. Third, promoting indigenous knowledge system and indigenous people conservation. Fourth, formulation of common food and safety standards.
We hope that you enjoy and at the same time learn at this video collaborated by BSBA HR2A of Navotas Polytechnic College. Thank you for watching!